Love is a timeless yet continuously explored theme in every source of media. In music, movies, books, TV shows, dramas, and so much more. But the media that explores love in a very interesting way is animation. I'm here, you're here, and I'm Little Wisp. And today we're exploring the depiction of love in Western animation and anime. Why Western animation and anime? Well, there's something I noticed being different on both sides. And showing feelings and emotion in animation is a very difficult task. How do you show when someone is in love? Do you draw hearts around them, make them smile at their lover, or just simply have them kiss their lover each time they are on screen? You could do that, and yes, sometimes it's done, but there's so much more to love than just image. I made a video not too long ago reacting to the animation of a very talented theowlhouse fan, where they reanimated the kiss scene of Emily and Luz. They left a comment under my video and I really liked how they phrased their thought process. I've always been a huge fan of animation, and my goal with this in particular was to capture how that scene made me feel by calling back to movies I grew up on. There are so many moments within animated films that spoke very profoundly to me, and I know have impacted others the same way. Something I learned while making this was just how much movies are made up of looks. The way people look at each other, momentary glances, soft or rapid blinking, even the slight change in the angle of an eyebrow can speak more words than verbal language ever could. This is what I love so much about animation. It gives artists the freedom to show their own interpretation of emotions and feelings. Let's look at the relationship between Luz and Amity in The Owl House, because the show does something interesting here. It portrays their relationship as an intricate part of their character development. Luz helps Amity become more confident and embrace who she truly is, while Amity provides Luz with encouragement and understanding. And what also makes their relationship so special is that no one really talks about them being in a queer relationship. Sure, in season 3, Luz reveals to her mom that she's bi, but even that is done without words. In most sources of media, there's a slight mention of the character being part of the LGBTQ+ community. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it was really refreshing to see that no one in the show actually pointed out that they are in a queer relationship, because it's so normalized. I think Amity's and Luz's relationship is a wonderful example of how Western animation can portray love as a powerful force of personal growth and acceptance. But let's take a look again at what Cinema Mushroom said. Something I learned while I was making this was just how much movies are made of looks. The way people look at each other, momentary glances, soft or rapid blinking, even the slight change in the angle of an eyebrow can speak more words than verbal language ever could. Because yes, this happens in the Owl House, but isn't highlighted in their relationship. Their conversation and character growth are what makes their relationship so special to us. At least I think. Let's look at WALL-E, a very good example of how to show love without words. Because our main characters are robots and only know how to say a couple of words. The most important words being
directive, WALL-E, Eve.
So next to words, the animators had to get creative visually, with gaze, for example. Momentary pauses and special moments, like the moment when WALL-E and Eve bond for the first time, listening to the song, It Only Takes a Moment. This is done multiple times throughout the movie, and it makes us as the audience really believe that these two robots are in love. Another good example is the famous married life scene in Up. The thing is, this scene is only a couple minutes long, yet we see their whole life story and really feel their love bloom as they get older. It's the music, color use, and love symbols that helps us believe that these characters deeply love each other. So, what do these three relationships have in common in their depiction of love? Well, all share a deep emotional connection that is conveyed more through action and nonverbal cues than through dialogue. In each case, the relationships are portrayed as natural and meaningful parts of the characters' lives, emphasizing love as a force of personal growth and understanding. The animators use visual storytelling techniques like body language, music, and symbolic imagery to express the depth of the relationships, allowing audiences to connect with and believe in the characters' bonds without relying solely on words or obvious imagery. Now let's take a look at how anime depicts love through animation. Because yes, it's done in a similar manner, but there's something that anime does differently. I want to take a look at the relationship between Miss Kobayashi and Toru, from one of my favorite animes ever, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Which is kind of weird because they're not really in a relationship, but hear me out. For those who haven't seen this anime, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is about an ordinary office worker named Miss Kobayashi, whose life completely changes when she saves a dragon named Toru, who transforms into a human maid and moves in with her, leading to Toru falling in love with Miss Kobayashi and a series of humorous and heartwarming adventures. Toru tries to show her love for Miss Kobayashi in her actions, from her enthusiastic attempts to help around the house to her genuine concern for Miss Kobayashi's well-being. And next to that, she also tries to understand humans by observing them, mainly doing it to understand Miss Kobayashi. And what I also like here, once again, no one frowns upon the fact that Toru is in love with Miss Kobayashi, even though they're both women. Kobayashi mentions that she's not really attracted to women, but besides that, Toru's feelings are completely normalized, as they should. In the beginning of the show, Kobayashi finds it really difficult to accept Toru's love, mainly because she feels like she doesn't deserve it. She doesn't know how to deal with someone wanting to give her everything without asking anything back. Except for one thing: her affection. This is a problem anime tackles a lot, because I think this is one of the biggest struggles of love in general. Loving someone so much, wanting to give them everything to a point of giving them all you have. Meanwhile, they don't know how to give that same amount back to you, because that same amount is them. Another good example of this is in the anime ReZero, where one of the characters named Rem is in love with the main character named Subaru. Yet he is in love with another character named Emilia. For those who haven't seen ReZero, ReZero is about a young guy named Subaru, who mysteriously transforms to a fantasy world, where he discovers he has the ability to return to a specific point in time every time he dies, leading him to repeatedly face life or death situations to protect those he cares about. Let's just say that this guy suffers a lot and sees his friends die in horrible ways multiple times, so viewer discretion is advised if you want to check out this anime. Okay, back to the point. So Subaru is really in love with Emilia, but Rem is also in love with Subaru, and yeah, it's all confusing. And I mean, there isn't much you can do about someone falling in love with someone else. But that is so interesting here. In the first season, Emilia doesn't really understand why Subaru likes her so much. She hasn't done anything for him, so how could he like her? So she rejects his feelings first. But Rem? I think the video ReZero in 8 minutes by Gikuk worded this perfectly.
Don't worry, Amelia, I'll save you!
Hold on! Why? Why? Why are you doing this all for me? I don't get it! I heard Rem is head over heels in love with you! She'd do anything for you! So why are you going so far just for me?
Who's Rem?
And it's not so that Subaru really rejects Rem's feelings at first, because in one episode, he even asks her to run away with him. After seeing his friends die multiple times, he feels powerless and like he can't change their horrible destiny after trying multiple times. So he just wants to run away from it all. But the thing is, Rem rejects his offer, even though she really wants to, because she knows he's only doing it because it's the easy thing to do. Run away from his problems, and abandon the person that he is. The person she fell in love with, which is so much more important to her. She wants to see him happy as he was when he was around Emilia. Yes, this might sound really messed up for Rem, but at the end of the day, she is such a sweetheart for this. She would rather see Subaru happy with another girl and be his best self than be with her, where he isn't his authentic self and isn't truly happy. There's this scene that I think is a good example of what I mean what anime does differently. After returning by death multiple times, Emilia noticed something off about Subaru. He's clearly breaking because of something, She doesn't know what it is because if Subaru talks about his powers of being able to return by death to anyone, they die. She calls him up and asks if he could come with her. They go to her room and she reveals that she wants to give him a lap pillow so he can rest. Okay, really look at what this scene is trying to highlight. It's the touch, her look, the consideration of his feelings, and seeing him struggle without him even saying that he is. In this moment, Emilia gave him what he needed. Someone that cared, and gave him comfort. Affirmation that his efforts were being noticed. And that is why he fell in love with her. Anime does this often. They point out the little things, yet extremely important things. The way people look at each other, the importance of touch, special moments, what we felt, heard. And the animators really highlight these things in the animation. It's the close-up shots and highly detailed animations of small actions. Something I also noticed that in a lot of anime, most love stories don't really end up with a conclusion of the main characters ending up together. And yes, it's shown that the characters love each other, but they don't really end up together. It's either shown really late in the anime with a vague conclusion, or with a few shots. For example, in Violet Evergarden. We don't see much of Gilbert's and Violet's love life after they reunited. We only see a couple images. And I think this is so interesting about how love is depicted in anime. It seems like the falling in love part is more interesting than the actual relationship part. Anime creators prefer to stay in the phase of falling in love and being in love than actually being in a relationship. Why? I don't know. Is it because of the excitement? Everything is new and special yet scary. What if the other doesn't feel the same way? Or what if they do? It's the wondering that is interesting. The endless creating of scenarios. Hope that something might happen between both characters. It's the little things. The way people look at each other. Momentary glances. Soft or rapid blinking. Even a slight change in the angle of an eyebrow can speak more words than verbal language ever could. Well, I guess both Western and Eastern depiction of love in animation have a lot more in common than I thought, yet also have their differences. Western animation often portrays love through character growth and visual cues, using direct visual symbols and narrative techniques. In contrast, anime emphasizes the beauty of emotional expression and the process of falling in love, focusing on detailed visual and auditory cues in animation. All these techniques are present in both styles. I also think it's so beautiful how each medium uniquely interprets and portrays love, showing to us the diverse ways of storytelling in animation. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I really enjoy making these videos, so you'd be helping me out a lot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always respond to comments, so let's talk about stuff we both enjoy. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye!